His fiance's junior gets drugged, so to help save him, she delays their wedding.
There is still no wedding license, and now He Qiang is kneeling, begging for forgiveness. She is pregnant with He Qiang's baby, but hey, the kid is innocent.
She actually suggests Mubai should raise the kid while she sends her junior abroad.
She tells him to be sensible and not hold a grudge, so he marries his childhood friend instead. Now, Mubai stands outside the registry, rain starting to ruin his wedding suit. The forecast never predicted rain, just like nobody warned him about this mess. He never expected to receive a pregnancy test report from his fiance's junior today of all days. At first, he assumes Liu Ruyan is just running late at her lab again. But the name popping up on his screen is He Qiang, that junior who is always helping out in her lab. The text bubble says, "Brother Mubai, I am so incredibly sorry." An image loading bar appears beneath the chat bubble, and his finger hovers over the screen, trembling. He is terrified to click it. Bold black letters jump out. Early pregnancy. Those bold words jump right out at him, and the patient's name clearly reads Liu Ruyan. 6 weeks pregnant, the exact time Liu Ruyan supposedly went away. Supposedly, she was attending an academic conference that weekend. His vision suddenly goes completely blurry. He realizes he is holding his breath as the phone suddenly starts vibrating. Liu Ruyan's name flashes on screen. He mechanically slides the button to answer and hears her voice. He hears her speak with that familiar laboratory echo, calling out his name. "Did you see the message?" she asks. He answers yes, sounding eerily calm, even to himself. "So, you are not coming today?" she asks, claiming He Qiang is highly unstable right now. She lowers her voice to a whisper, but he can hear a boy sobbing in the background. She claims she fainted in the lab last night, and they only discovered the pregnancy at the hospital. Mubai interrupts her, asking so what, and she claims someone drugged a junior at a banquet. Liu Ruyan's breathing gets heavy as she argues she only did it to save him, while Mubai's nails dig into his palms. The sharp pain snaps him back to reality. What a classic, pathetic excuse. She does not even bother to make up a fresh excuse. On the other end, He Qiang is crying out loud. He cries out for a senior, and Mubai can hear her frantically trying to comfort him. He listens as 5 years of their relationship shatter like glass right before his eyes. She actually says she must have the baby, and they will pretend it is his. Liu Ruyan finally finds her words, saying she cannot possibly ruin He Qiang's bright future. She suggests they can raise the child together, and she will send the junior abroad after he graduates. Raindrops splash hard onto his phone screen, blurring the image of that pregnancy report He Qiang sent. Suddenly, he laughs until his eyes burn with hot tears. Other couples stare at him, but bro, he is just laughing at this ridiculously perfect setup. He gets to raise the bastard child, while she remains the pristine Professor Lai. And He Qiang gets to fly abroad on her scholarship. Mubai slowly wipes the rain off his face.
"Let's postpone our wedding registration for now," she says, her tone light and casual.
Like she is just rescheduling a lab meeting, promising they will do it later. He hangs up the call and looks up at the glowing electronic screen of the registry. The marriage registration rules scroll across the screen. How incredibly ironic! Just 30 minutes ago, he was dreaming of their names being joined. Dreaming of seeing their names side by side on that red certificate, but his phone buzzes with another text. "He Qiang needs me right now," she texts. "You have always been the sensible one. I have to take responsibility for this child." He opens his contacts. His finger hovers over Gu Siyu's name, the girl who always had his back whenever his toxic ex, Liu Ruyan, stood him up. She would always show up with beer and crawfish, ready to roast him for being so blind. When he finally calls her, the background is filled with the lively sound of ocean waves crashing. Gu Siyu's voice chimes through, teasingly asking if young Master Chen finally remembered her existence. Her tone carries the warmth of the Hawaiian sun as she mentions she is out there surfing. "Come back to the country and meet me at the registry," he interrupts. His voice is so raspy he barely recognizes it as he says, "We are getting married." The line goes completely dead silent. 3 seconds later, Gu Siyu replies that she is coming back first thing tomorrow. "Don't play with me," she warns, as the sound of rushing wind suggests she is already sprinting. Through the phone, he hears her shouting "excuse me" in English, frantically trying to rebook her flight right then and there. The very next morning, Chen Mubai finds himself standing right back at the entrance of the marriage registry. Before long, a cab screeches to a halt and the doors flung wide open. Gu Siyu practically leaps out, still clutching her passport and plane ticket in her hand. With her hair completely messy from the wind, she strides right up to him. Out of breath, but with her eyes sparkling with absolute excitement, she gasps out his name. "Are you actually serious about this?" she asks, looking straight into his eyes. Looking at her, Chen Mubai suddenly gets hit by a wave of nostalgia. Honestly, Gu Siyu has always been like this, ready to drop everything at his single command. She will drop everything to run to his side. Right now, she did not even bother changing her clothes. She is still rocking her Hawaiian floral shirt and a pair of beach flip-flops.
Yet she has got all her legal documents ready. "Let's get married," he says, completely calm.
She locks eyes with him for 2 seconds, then suddenly flashes a bright smile. "All right, let's do it." She immediately whips out her phone, calling her dad to announce that she and Chen Mubai are marrying today. "Right now," she says. Chen Mubai is stunned. He did not expect her to call her parents so fast. But on second thought, this is just so typical of her, quick and decisive. She never drags her feet. Meanwhile, the clerk at the registry looks back and forth between them. Staring at Gu Siyu's hilarious vacation outfit, the clerk's expression gets extremely awkward. "Are you two absolutely sure this is voluntary?" the clerk asks. Chen Mubai nods without hesitation. Gu Siyu just grins, casually throwing her arm around his shoulder like the absolute boss she is. "Oh, he just cannot wait," she teases, making him roll his eyes. But he does not push her away. The whole process goes by in a flash. The moment the red stamp hits the paper, his heart literally skips a beat. He is officially married now, but the bride is not his toxic ex, Liu Ruyan. Walking out of the registry, he stares down at the official red marriage certificate in his hands. Gu Siyu stands right beside him in silence, just waiting patiently with a soft smile. Suddenly, his phone buzzes. Guess who it is? Yep, his toxic ex, Liu Ruyan. Staring at her name on the screen, he cannot help but find the timing absolutely hilarious. Just yesterday, she was making excuses to postpone their marriage, claiming she was too busy. And now she is suddenly calling him first. He picks up, hearing her frantic voice on the other end. "Don't overthink things, Chen Mubai," she begs, sounding incredibly desperate. "You know I only love you, and my feelings for He Qiang are strictly professional. What happened that night was a total accident," she pleads, repeating the same old tired excuses. He just feels completely exhausted listening to her lies. "Yeah, okay," he says softly. "I get it," he replies calmly. "I am actually pretty busy right now, so I have to go." She clearly did not expect him to be this indifferent, leaving her completely stunned on the line. Suddenly, her V softens, asking where he is so she can pick him up. She begs to talk, but he hits her with a cold "no need," leaving the line dead silent. Her voice immediately drops to sub-zero temperatures, asking Chen Mubai why he is being so aggressive. Aggressive? Honestly, our boy Chen Mubai almost laughs out loud. He quietly tells Liu Ruyan that they are breaking up, completely catching her off guard. It takes her a whole minute to scoff and say, "Fine, he is really something." She boasts that he will come crying back to her in 30 minutes, but he just hangs up. Gu Siyu stands right next to him and smirks, teasingly asking if that was his ex-fiancée. He slides his phone away and suggests they get a great meal to celebrate their first day of marriage. Gu Siyu smiles and playfully ruffles his hair, agreeing to the plan. After they eat, he heads back to his old apartment and takes a deep breath at the door. But the second he pushes the door open, instant red flag. The place reeks of cheap men cologne, and he hears the green tea villain He Qiang giggling inside. He Qiang is asking if he looks good in the suit, leaving Chen Mubai frozen in shock. In the living room, this absolute clown He Qiang is posing in front of a full-length mirror. And get this, he is wearing the custom designer suit Chen Mubai ordered just last month. On top of that, he has on the watch Chen Mubai got from his dad, while Liu Ruyan watches from the couch. She looks at He Qiang with adoring eyes, claiming he has way more class than certain other people. 5 years together, and she never complimented Chen Mubai once, but He Qiang finally spots him standing there. The guy literally spins around and pretends to be surprised that Mumbai is back. He proudly asks if the suit fits him, while Chen Mubai just stares him down. Liu Ruyan scolds him for ignoring the guest, making Chen Mubai let out a cold laugh. Honestly, who would want to talk to a pathetic thief who steals someone else's clothes? When Chen Mubai asks if there is a problem, He Qiang's face instantly twists in anger. He immediately clutches his stomach and whines to Liu Ruyan that he does not feel well. Liu Ruyan rushes over to comfort him, turning around to scream at Chen Mubai. She yells at him for being mean, reminding him that He Qiang is the father of her unborn baby. She says the kid will call him dad anyway, so why can't the real father wear his clothes? Just some clothes? Are you kidding me? He points directly at the custom suit. He reminds them that this suit was custom-made specifically for his own body measurements.
Not to mention, the watch is a priceless birthday gift from his late father.
Liu Ruyan just scoffs, proudly admitting she was the one who told him to wear it. She asks if she's not allowed to touch his things anymore while he stares her down. Looking at her, he realizes this woman is a total stranger now, making him take a deep breath. He asks if she forgot they already broke up, which instantly makes her face drop. She snaps back, asking so what, but Chen Mubai firmly says these are his things. He steps forward and forcefully rips the watch right off his wrist. He demands He Qiang take off the suit immediately, making the guy shriek in panic. He Qiang clings to the watch, crying out that his beloved senior sister gave it to him. Liu Ruyan immediately grabs his wrist and warns him not to push his luck. Although his wrist hurts from her grip, our boy refuses to back down an inch. He coldly points out that the initials of his father are engraved on the back. He threatens to call the police for theft, which completely freezes Liu Ruyan in her tracks. Seeing this, He Qiang pulls his classic move and fake collapses to the floor, crying in pain. She frantically lets go of Chen Mubai to help him, as He Qiang falsely claims he was pushed. He Qiang points at Mubai, turning on the waterworks, fake apologizing to Ruyan. Ruyan immediately loses her mind, grabs a glass off the coffee table, and chucks it at Mubai. He cannot dodge. The glass hits him straight in the forehead. Sharp pain explodes as he stumbles back, barely holding the wall to stay upright. Warm, sticky liquid trickles down his neck, and he reaches up to touch it. Seeing the blood, Ruyan freezes, clearly not expecting herself to actually lose control. But she quickly cold shoulders him again, telling Mubai he is being way too petty. She claims He Qiang feels guilty enough and is highly sensitive right now. What is the big deal if he just wore your clothes? She tells him to be generous, which almost makes Mubai laugh out loud. He scoffs. I literally gave you to him. How is that not generous? Ruyan's face darkens instantly as she grabs him tightly by the wrist. Her grip is bone-crushing as she warns Mubai not to push his luck. Mubai turns pale with pain but refuses to show any weakness. She glares and suddenly chuckles. Fine, since you want to be difficult. Then do not blame me, she sneers, dragging him along. She forces him onto the bed, then turns her head to He Qiang. Telling him to sit, she watches as He Qiang sits down timidly. Ruyan demands coldly for Mubai to give He Qiang a shoulder massage. He has morning sickness? Wait, what? Is this guy actually pregnant right now? What did you say? Mubai asks, but she snaps back to serve him.
From now on, you are staying right here to take care of He Qiang.
She looks down at him, warning him to drop his rich boy attitude. Only then will she consider whether she actually wants to marry him. Mubai stares back. He finds this whole situation completely absurd. She thinks he still wants her? He violently yanks his hand away. In your dreams, Ruyan, he says, as her face darkens with pure rage. Do not push me, Mubai, she warns, but he grabs the nightstand frame. It is their 5th anniversary photo, and he slams it into the floor. What are you going to do, kill me? He asks, making her eyes narrow. The next second, she grabs him and shoves him out of the house. If you will not obey, then get lost, she screams. He stumbles into the hallway, slamming the back of his head against the wall. The pain nearly blinds him before the door slams shut in his face. He slowly stands up using the wall, his nails digging into his palms. It is finally over. The biting wind freezes him to the bone. Under the pale streetlights, he stands outside the apartment complex. The wound on his head still throbbed, though the blood had dried. But the freezing wind only makes the sharp pain flare up again. His phone vibrates and he looks down to see a text from Ruyan.
She texts him to reflect on his actions and stop being childish. He blocks her number instantly, just as he arrives back at his family home. His phone rings again. This time, it is Ruyan's mother calling. Taking a deep breath, he picks up. Mother Liu speaks with her usual arrogance, asking if he had a fight with Ruyan. Mubai stays silent. Aunt Liu just chuckles. She goes on about how it is totally normal for young couples to fight. But then she tells him to grow up. He sneers, pointing out that her daughter literally kicked him out of the house. He asks if kicking him out counts as a simple misunderstanding. She sighs, tells him he is being way too sensitive. She claims Ruyan just has a short temper and he needs to tolerate her more. He does not even reply. With a smug tone, she says she called to give him some news. She boasts that their family has already officially approved of He Qiang. Aunt Liu brags that He Qiang is a literal genius who published papers at a super young age. Aunt Liu's voice is dripping with arrogance as she claims the guy's future is limitless. She even claims their future kids will be brilliant. Mubai grips his phone so hard his knuckles turn white. She condescendingly tells him that sure, he might have some family money, but he is completely unworthy of their high-class academic background. So he needs to know his place. And stop causing drama. Mubai just slowly closes his eyes. Honestly, this is wild. He finally realizes how this toxic family has always looked down on him. Taking a deep breath, he calmly tells her that she is absolutely right. The mother is stunned, but he just agrees that he really does not deserve them. No more relations. He is done. He hangs up and immediately calls his lawyer, Lawyer Zhang, ready to start the payback. He asks about the buildings for Ruyan's lab, her mother's house, and their wedding house. He confirms that the deeds to all these properties are actually registered under his family. When the lawyer confirms it, his voice turns ice cold, ready to pull the plug. He orders Lawyer Zhang to charge full market rent and evict them immediately if they cannot pay. You see, Ruyan always thought she got these prime locations out of pure luck. She had absolutely no idea. Mubai had arranged everything, hiring fake landlords just to protect her fragile pride. Mubai basically funded her entire life just to protect her pride, but now he is totally done. Right after hanging up, his phone buzzes. And of course, it is a video sent directly from that shameless guy, He Qiang. He opens it to find Ruyan wrapping her arms tightly around He Qiang. She leans in to kiss him with a look of devotion that is honestly disgusting. In the video, the guy mockingly asks if Mubai will get mad about this. Ruyan just sneers, asking what right he even has to be angry. She calls him a useless trust fund baby who only has value because of his money. He Qiang fake defends him, calling him pitiful with a smug grin that is just so annoying.
She giggles and pinches his cheek, completely infatuated with him.
She praises him for being a pure, hard-working genius who actually has real talent.
Unlike certain people who are totally useless without their cash. Then, the video cuts off. At this point, Mubai is completely done with them. He vows to make them pay back every single cent, while his loyal friend Siyu rushes to his side. Without asking any questions, she just quietly stays by his side, taking care of him. Suddenly, Mubai spots Gu Siyu looking absolutely ruthless on a call. She is furiously demanding how some random guy got into the lab. Gu Siyu is convinced the lab is dirty, ordering 20 workers to protest. Our girl is about to destroy Liu Ruyan's entire career. Insane moves. Honestly, Liu Ruyan is about to face ultimate karma. 3 days later. Mubai is chillin' in the Gu Group penthouse watching Gu Siyu work. Watching her meticulously plan their wedding leaves him completely dazed. She frowns slightly at the layout. Apparently, she thinks the wedding venue is just not grand enough. Mubai loves sunlight, she notes, looking up at the designer. Her dominant CEO energy shows as she demands an immediate change. The designer panics while Mubai just stares at his perfect fiancé. Warmth floods his chest because she actually remembered his favorite things. He loves wide-open spaces and looking down at the city lights. I love how she remembers the tiny details he forgot. Best girl. Gu Siyu catches him staring and looks up with a gentle smile. Mubai softly tells her that she is working way too hard. There is no rush, he says, but she just closes the plans. She walks over, sits right beside him, and takes his hand.
She has waited 20 years for this day. My heart is melting. She smiles warmly, gently caressing the back of his hand.
She promises to give him only the absolute best venue.
The finest outfit, the grandest wedding, and the deepest love. In the following weeks,
Gu Siyu literally throws all her free time into planning their wedding.
she manages every single detail herself.
Mubai just has to nod and smile. Then, one evening,
Chilling on the terrace, Mubai watches the peaceful city skyline. As he spaces out, Gu Siyu brings him warm milk.
"Drink up," she says. "It gets pretty chilly at night." Looking down at the cup, a wave of bitterness hits him. Contrast this with Liu Ruyan, who never once poured him water. He takes a sip, feeling the warmth spread through his hands.
It feels like quiet healing when she asks what is on his mind. Gu Siyu sits down next to him, her voice incredibly gentle.
Mubai just sighs, admitting he used to be so incredibly foolish.
She ruffles his hair softly, telling him he was not foolish.
"You just loved the wrong person," she says. Old memories resurface. He remembers his toxic past, where he always did the waiting.
Every fight ended with his apology, and she even ignored marriage talks.
Liu Ruyan only gave brief, cold responses, without even looking up.
She constantly called him spoiled, demanding, and completely unreasonable. Yet Gu Siyu has never judged him like that once. In her eyes, every choice Mubai makes is fully respected.
She truly listens, giving him the absolute trust he always deserved. Mubai stares down at his glass of milk as tears suddenly splash right into it. Ripples form. Siyu gently hugs his shoulders.
"Why are you crying, Mubai?"
she asks softly.
He just weeps. "Thank you," he whispers, while she gently kisses the top of his head.
Why the thanks? Because she finally showed him what genuine, unconditional love actually feels like. She kisses his cheek. "You deserve the best," she says, taking him to a high-end boutique later. Warm sunlight streams through the tall glass windows, making the elegant suits look absolutely dreamlike.
Siyu stands right beside him, her slender fingers gently skimming through a rack of suits.
Try this one. She pulls out a vintage European suit from the clerk, and Mubai instantly freezes. It looks strangely familiar. She whispers that she spotted it at Sotheby's auction 2 years ago. She knew back then he would look incredibly handsome in it. Mubai is utterly stunned. "So you bought it?" he asks, and she nods, saying she kept it here, waiting. 2 years ago, he was still dating Ruyan, but Siyu was already planning this.
She was already preparing this suit for him. My heart is literally melting for this couple.
He touches the fabric, feeling the deep love she hid for all these years. "Siyu," he whispers, his voice trembling because he has absolutely no words to say. "Go try it on." He heads to the fitting room, realizing she has loved him silently for so long. And then he steps out. Siyu's jaw literally drops. "You look amazing," she breathes, while he stares in the mirror, feeling completely dazed. It fits flawlessly, like it was crafted exactly for his frame.
Just like her perfect love.
But then, the door is kicked open. Boom! A massive crash makes the store clerk scream. It is Liu Ruyan. Red-faced and furious, she shoves past everyone.
She charges right at him, screaming at Mubai to go home and reflect on his behavior.
Yet here he is, buying clothes. Mubai just stares back, dead silent. Before he can speak, she grabs his suit. Rip! She tears the expensive fabric.
Just like that, the elegant fabric is ruined, and Mubai is low-key about to explode. She literally destroyed Siyu's precious gift. Siyu steps up immediately.
Bam! She delivers a brutal slap that folds Ruyan straight to the floor. Her sidekick, He Qiang, screams in horror while Ruyan glares up, demanding who this woman is. "How dare you betray me?" Mubai just takes a deep, calm breath. He looks her dead in the eye. "This is my legally wedded wife," he says.
Yes, they officially tied the knot. And it happened on the exact day Ruyan shamelessly left him at the altar.
The moment she ran to He Qiang, they were completely done. No second chances.
Ruyan goes pale, shaking her head in denial. No, that is impossible. Mubai sneers. Like, seriously? She is pregnant with another man's kid. And she actually expected him to raise the baby while letting that guy move in? He asks how she would feel if he had a kid with someone else instead. Would she honestly like that? Ruyan stumbles back half a step, completely speechless. Suddenly, she drops to her knees, her voice shaking as she begs Mubai. She admits she was wrong, promising to cut off He Qiang and even abandon the baby. She desperately begs him to take a step back and divorce his new wife immediately.
She wants marriage, right now. Her sheer audacity actually makes him laugh, and he firmly tells her he is not backing down. She always complained about his rich young master attitude, so now she gets exactly that. Leave. Now. Never show your face to him ever again. Ruyan tries to argue, but Gu Siyu steps in with a freezing glare. Her voice is icy as she warns Ruyan that she is playing with fire. A panicked clerk runs over, explaining the ruined dress is an expensive private piece. Knowing the massive cost, Ruyan grits her teeth and promises to pay. Suddenly, He Qiang struts inside, spewing absolute nonsense to his dear senior. He suggests Mubai should foot the entire bill, since the drama was technically caused by him. Ruyan instantly turns to Mubai, commanding him to stop throwing a tantrum and pay. Mubai just scoffs at her. Do I seriously look like a sucker? Besides, his actual wife, Gu Siyu, was the one who bought this dress. Since she owns it now, any compensation is completely up to her. Do they really think she will let them off? Gu Siyu just sneers. Absolute boss energy. She demands payment, threatening to call the cops and sue them immediately. She casually mentions how Ruyan's research lab is already facing serious trouble. A lawsuit is the last thing they need, and Ruyan gasps as the painful truth hits her. Left with absolutely no choice, Ruyan maxes out her cards to pay before they walk away together. Ruyan screams his name from behind, but Gu Siyu holds him close and tells him not to look back. Mubai is stunned. Then he smiles. Her sheer possessiveness feels sweet. Meanwhile, Ruyan's life starts completely falling apart. Love to see it. First, she gets a notice that rent for all 3 of her properties is spiking back to full price. Even worse, she has to pay 6 months of rent upfront right this second. Furious, she stares at the screen and immediately calls her landlord to complain. But the landlord is totally ice cold, telling her it is all in the contract. Chen Mubai was subsidizing the cheap rent, but now those favors are gone. Now she has to pay market rate. Ruyan literally smashes her phone in rage. Reality hits. It was never good luck. Getting those 3 luxury apartments for dirt cheap was all because of him. Mubai had been secretly paying for everything. Instantly, she tries to text him. She texts him to stop playing around and go fix her rent situation right now. But then, boom! Red exclamation mark. She is blocked. Just 1 week later, Ruyan and her mother are evicted for unpaid rent. Booted right onto the streets, her mother drags their suitcases in absolute shock. She desperately asks her daughter if Mubai was supposed to be a softie. Liu Ruyan is absolutely seething, convinced Chen Mubai only changed because Gu Siyu is pulling the strings. Liu's mother is crying, whining about where they'll live now, while Liu Ruyan just grits her teeth. She tells her mother to just crash at some cheap hotel until her lab funding finally comes through. But she has no clue her lab funding is totally dead after Chen Mubai pulled his cash. Over at Liu Ruyan's lab, the researchers are already packing up their things. One of them hesitantly asks her about their pay for this month. Liu Ruyan just waves them off, telling them to wait because the funds are coming any minute. But everyone already knows the truth. Without Chen Mubai backing her, she has absolutely nothing. This lab is done for, and the once glorious Dr. Liu is hitting rock bottom. She can't even pay her staff, while Gu Siyu is throwing an insane engagement party for Chen Mubai. It's held at the most luxurious hotel in Jiangbei, and he's wearing a special suit she kept. She cherished it for 2 years, even though Liu Ruyan tried to ruin it before. But Gu Siyu hired top designers to fix it overnight, making him look even more stunning than before. Gu Siyu stands on the stage looking absolutely gorgeous, her eyes filled with deep emotion. She holds his hand and speaks every single word clearly. Chen Mubai.
She says she has waited for this day for so long, and starting today, she will protect his happiness. Instantly, the crowd erupts into thunderous applause. Cameras flash non-stop while Chen Mubai's eyes tear up with pure joy. For the first time, he finally knows what it's like to be truly loved by someone. It is a beautiful feeling, but right as the party reaches its absolute climax, the banquet doors are suddenly slammed open and every single person in the room turns to look. Nah, this is actually crazy. It's Liu Ruyan again, with those bruises still visible on her face. She looks deathly pale, and her clothes are completely wrinkled. It looks like she hasn't changed in days as she rushes in, holding her pregnant belly. Her eyes are filled with pure, desperate madness as she charges straight to the stage. Right in front of the entire crowd, she drops to her knees and falls before Chen Mubai. She begs Chen Mubai in hoarse voice that she was wrong, making Gu Siyu's eyes turn ice cold. Gu Siyu instinctively shields Chen Mubai, but Liu Ruyan completely ignores her. She keeps begging, screaming that she never loved He Qiang and only ever loved Chen Mubai. She begs him to take her back, her voice shaking uncontrollably. She's crying hysterically, acting like her heart is genuinely broken. Chen Mubai just looks down at her coldly and asks if she's really back because of love?
She freezes, but he keeps going. Is it because after leaving him, she lost everything? Her entire career instantly plummeted and her lab lost all its funding?
She even lost her house, right? She didn't come back because she suddenly loves him. It's because she realized that without Chen Mubai, she is absolutely nothing. Liu Ruyan's face goes completely white while the guests start whispering. Some people even laugh out loud at the once high and mighty Dr. Liu. Now she's kneeling on the floor, begging like a dog. Talk about an amazing reality check. But right as Liu Ruyan tries to make excuses, the banquet doors fly open once again. A sharp male voice cries out for her as He Qiang stumbles in. He is completely pale, and tears are streaming down his face. He points directly at Liu Ruyan, crying that she promised she would take care of him. He screams that she is pregnant with his child, leaving the entire crowd utterly shocked. Furious, Liu Ruyan whips around and screams at him to shut up.
He Qiang is utterly terrified by her sudden coldness and starts crying even harder, whining about how she promised to marry him. But now she is begging Mubai instead, making He Qiang realize she lied, which drives Liu Ruyan absolutely crazy with rage. Honestly, this girl is shameless. She stands up and violently shoves He Qiang away, telling him to stop embarrassing her. He Qiang stumbles back and almost falls over, staring at Liu Ruyan with pure, heartbroken disbelief. You would think she would care, but she doesn't even spare him a glance. Instead, she turns right back to Mubai, begging him and saying if he is still angry at her, she will get rid of the baby right now as long as he just comes back to her. The audacity of her claiming she will do literally anything completely disgusts Mubai. Seriously, her complete lack of morals is enough to make anyone sick to their stomach. Thank goodness our queen Gu Siyu steps in. She coldly tells Liu Ruyan that she is genuinely pathetic.
Imagine throwing away your own child just for money. Hearing this, Liu Ruyan's face completely twists with fury. She screeches that this is between her and Mubai, and that Gu Siyu has absolutely no right to interfere. Gu Siyu just scoffs and immediately signals the security guards to throw both of these clowns out. The guards don't waste a second, grabbing Liu Ruyan and He Qiang to drag them out of the building. Liu Ruyan is struggling like crazy, screaming out at Chen Mubai with pure, desperate hatred. She yells that he will regret this because without her, he is supposedly absolutely nothing. Mubai doesn't even look her way, turning his attention entirely to Gu Siyu instead. He softly suggests they continue their meeting, and Gu Siyu squeezes his hand with a warm smile. Honestly, she is proving through her actions that no matter what kind of chaos goes down, she will always firmly stand by him. But of course, Liu Ruyan is not done causing drama just yet. Backed into a corner with nowhere left to run, she and He Qiang decide to pull one last desperate stunt. They register a brand new social media account and drop a massive, detailed call-out post. Their post paints the wealthy heir Chen Mubai as a bitter, hateful ex who is out for revenge. It is all about malicious payback, completely twisting the truth to make themselves look like innocent victims. They lie and claim that Liu Ruyan and He Qiang have always been a happy, committed couple.
According to them, Chen Mubai used his investor status to harass and pursue Liu Ruyan repeatedly. Supposedly, when she rejected him, he threw a massive tantrum and maliciously pulled all his business funding. They even accuse him of buying their building just to raise the rent and make them homeless. On top of that, they claim He Qiang fell into a deep depression because of his threats. To make it worse, they attach a tearful video of her mother, which instantly blows up online. In the video, the mother is sobbing hysterically, crying about how hard her daughter worked in school, only to have her life ruined by some rich kid. She begs young Master Chen to show some mercy and let them go, and of course the gullible internet falls for it. People immediately start slamming Chen Mubai, saying he thinks he can do whatever he wants just because he's rich. They call him a villain and start rallying everyone to boycott the entire Chen Group. Tons of angry users storm the Chen Group's official social media pages, leaving thousands of toxic comments. Because of the massive public backlash, their stock price takes a hit, forcing an emergency board meeting. Soon, Mubai's father calls him with an incredibly serious tone. He asks how he plans to handle this mess, but Mubai just grips his phone and sneers. Mubai tells his dad not to worry because their little show won't last long. Meanwhile, Gu Siyu asks if she needs to step in, but Mubai wants to handle this himself. Liu Ruyan seriously thinks playing the victim on the internet is going to force him to compromise? But she clearly forgot who she is actually dealing with. Chen Mubai is built different. That very night at 8 p.m., he opens up a brand new account and drops a massive response about their 5 years together. What a joke! No hysterical crying here. Instead, he calmly releases actual proof, like their old couple photos. Then the proposal footage and their signed contract. He even leaks original rental contracts for 3 luxury properties he paid for, proving he secretly lowered her rent. Next is He Qiang's arrogant text saying she was tired of him, telling him to beat it. Then the final blow, photos of them making out in the lab.
Exactly 3 months after his proposal.
He even uploads the video He Qiang arrogantly sent. Adding a quick caption, "Your true love has a short shelf life, doctor." Within 10 minutes, it goes viral. The entire internet completely flips. People slam Liu Ruyan as a dirty cheater who lived off racks, while calling He Qiang's true love incredibly cheap. Her social media gets fully exposed, turning into a massive war zone. Angry comments flood in, mocking them for being absolutely shameless. He Qiang immediately locks his account, while she frantically deletes comments, but it is completely hopeless. Her mother calls. He ignores it. Instantly declined, so she calls from a burner number, demanding to know what he wants. He chuckles at her panic. She snarls, asking if he knew all along. Agreeing casually, he mocks her for thinking she was clever. She warns him not to push her. He laughs. What other cards does she even have left? She hangs up, but the massive scandal rages on for 3 months. Her lab completely collapses. Blacklisted from her academic circle, her pregnant belly starts to show. He Qiang crawls back to take responsibility. Drowned in shame, she is forced into a miserable shotgun marriage with him. On their wedding day, the room is practically empty. Low-key hilarious. She looks utterly miserable, but He Qiang is smiling like he just won the lottery. He thinks he secured his rich wife. Then, the baby is born. She is frozen in horror. The child has severe deformities. He Qiang shrugs, completely uncaring, saying her family will raise it anyway. This snaps something inside her, and she lunges to choke him, demanding the truth. It turns out his whole story of being drugged? A total act. He had terrible fertility and just wanted a rich heir. She snaps. Squeezing his throat, she screams that he ruined her entire life. By the time the doctors finally burst in, He Qiang is unconscious, his brain severely damaged from lack of oxygen. With him as a vegetable, she is dragged away in handcuffs. Talk about satisfying. In the end, the villainous Liu Ruyan gets charged with intentional grievous bodily harm. And she gets 10 years in prison, collapsing completely lifeless in her seat. Totally hollow eyes. Meanwhile, her mother hears the news of the arrest. Plus, the dark-skinned grandson fainting instantly, while Song Yi gets a massive stroke. leaving half his body paralyzed. Now, fast forward to 1 year later. Our main character and Gu Siyu are enjoying tea in the garden when his phone buzzes with a notification.
It says the academic fraud Liu Ruyan attempted suicide in prison, but he barely even glances at it.
He calmly locks his screen because honestly, he does not care what happens to her anymore. Gu Siyu catches the headline too, smiling as she holds his hand, promising they will find true happiness. She vows she will never be like that woman, which honestly makes him chuckle. He gently pinches her cheek, telling her he trusts her completely as the sunlight falls on them. Warm and incredibly bright,